Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I've got two of my favorite chainsaws from the 80s on the bench. This is a Stihl 056, ported up, lots of work done to it. The problem with this one is, it's sheared apart on the inside, and, well, that's as much recoil as I got there. The 281, it has got some sort of popping and crackling thing going on to it. Let's dig in, see if we can get both of these saws troubleshot, fixed, and maybe put them in some wood. Welcome to Man Time. Yeah, so Stihl 056. I know there's a lot of interest in this saw, by some people, I guess, relative to the, chainsaw community. But yeah, this saw, I actually ended up getting a new part for it. This is the piece that is damaged on this one. This one has, there's two different recoil style. One of them has got like some grooves in the flywheel. This one just has a ring in the flywheel, plastic. And this is going to be the second new one that I've put on there. But let's see if we can figure out what's going on inside the starter mechanism with those pawls that's maybe damaging it. Because, yeah, it came to me damaged, the recoil was doing the same thing, and now it's damaged again. I took the whole thing apart, but apparently that didn't fix it. Let's get in here and take a look at what we're doing today. Yeah, so this recoil cover here, it has got 1, 2, 3 screws, and then it's kind of partially held on by the oil cap. And I know you can't see that, but I'm going to situate you here where you can at least see this. Yeah, and there's chunks of plastic in there, so something's going wrong with this. But yeah, you can see here, it is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is having these pawls rotate out. Right, it doesn't look like they're rotating far enough. So we'll blow this out and see if we can't figure out what's going on there. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything really wrong with it. It's lubricated. Alright, well, we got that cap on there, but this is as far as you have to go to get this piece out of there. Basically, you just dig a screwdriver in behind it and get down. There's a little ridge inside of here, and once you get down there to it, you can just basically pry it out. So, do that. Blow out the excess plastic that's in here. And then we've got a new one we can just put right back in there. Yeah, hard to say what was causing this. Unless that, recoil pawls are springing out kind of intermittently. I don't really see any other way that it could be doing that. Yeah, there's a little lip on there, so this thing wasn't jostling around in there. So that's fine. Alright, I got my new ring in there. This here, it was sticking a little bit. Last time I used it, I put light oil inside of there. But that was actually, I guess, dirt and debris and stuff just immediately clung to it. So, word to the wise there. Sprayed it out with brake clean. Hopefully that will remedy the situation. I've got one screw hole here that's giving me a little bit of problem. So I'm going to try to run a tap down through it here. And see if we can't fix it up. So there you go. More Loctite. You never want to put these old saws together without Loctite for the most part. Yeah, still OEM Stihl flathead screws on these. Yeah, I used to kind of be like, I don't really like the flatheads, but I think these were designed so you could actually field dress them and stuff. Nowadays, if you want to work on your saws in the field, you got to take an Allen, Allen head set with you. Kind of stinks. But yeah, screws right in easily now. Okay, let's see if we got gas in it, and then going to give it a fire up here. Oh, she's bone dry. Bone dry. Well, I don't plan on using this in the near future, but there's engagement from the pawls. Alright, I'm going to call that one fixed. Let's move on to the 281. So here is the 281 opened up. Yeah, this is one of my favorite saws. But, so what it was doing, it was crackling and breaking up when it got to the top end, so it was breaking up on the top end, which is an indication of coil, or plug, or wire, but in this case, this one actually has a pickup and an igniter. So it's a two-part system with wires going in between, so it could be something with the wires. But let's hope for the easiest thing, which could be spark plugs. Somebody in one of my, well, I think in the video where I was running this, and you could actually kind of hear it and troubleshoot it, said it sounds like spark plug. So let's start with the spark plug and hope it's there. Yeah, it almost sounded, well, the person in the video said it sounds like it's got too much gap. Now, this is perfectly gapped at like 30 thousandths. So we can see right there it's not, and the spark plug is brand new. NGK BP MR7A. Brand new spark plug, perfectly tuned, just light brown. Not rich, not lean, not anything. So, this looks perfect. So that is not our issue. I mean, I don't think so. Let's test for spark. I mean, we got it right here in our teeth. Oh, I don't like the way that's fitting in there. Yeah, there's our problem. It's loose in the boot, and the boot can actually just slip right off. So this electrode in here, it's not gripping onto the top of the plug. So that's our problem. Okay, so how do we fix that? We're going to need a needle nose and pull that out through there. Man, I'm glad this is the problem, because finding these igniters, you can get aftermarket ones, but finding an OEM one is damn near impossible. And they're, when you do find them, they are expensive. So, let's see if we can get this out of here. Yeah, it's coming. It's just gonna be a little tight. Yeah, and see, like right there, yeah, I'm gonna need a new plug wire on here. That's what's gonna have to happen. I think I've got one though. But this is the problem. It's kind of jacked up in here on the wire itself. It's got some bends, in there, but the main thing is, well, let me just show you on the plug here. The plug, well, the plug does fit in there very good. I don't know why that was not crimping down. It just kind of worked itself off. But this is not good. Yeah, so what's going on here? Like, this is not engaged with anything. Alright, well, I can't find my other spark plug wire, so this is going to have to work. But basically what you want to do is measure back from the distance that this is, basically going to sit right off the end of that, and then make a little hole, and then pull it through. So, let's see here. To get to there, I'm going to need a hole right there. And then just make a little hole and make sure it's lined up like where it's going to be at, right? So it's going to be like that. I'm going to want a hole here. And then just, clip a little hole just in the rubber part where you can see metal. And then slip this into here, right on top of the metal. So it's basically inside of that metal, right? And then we can just pull it back through the boot. A little lube on there. Oh, look. Bar oil. How nice. That worked. No. That's not going to work. Let's get it through like this first. Okay, and then fit our electrode in here. More bar oil. Alright, I managed to get it out of there far enough to get this in here. And again, get this really kind of mashed in, into the wires where it is really going to get a good connection. That. And inside of the rubber. I don't know that I got it. And the wire is good enough on that one. There we go. Now it's in there. Okay, and then up, and it'll just slip back into place. There we go. And just make sure it's fully seated in there. Alright, and then I took and I snipped a little bit off of each side here. So that way the plug can go in and actually crunch. Hear that crunch in there? It wasn't like that when I took it off, so maybe I just misinstalled it. It happens. Happens to the best of us, I guess, huh? Okay, and then we'll attempt to pull this back up. There we go. And then this slips down into there. See, I don't think that would have been giving me any problems. Because it's completely housed in plastic. It's traveling through air and into plastic. And now this should, I don't know, it should work. And a zero cost, I mean, basically my error is what would have caused that. So, yeah, you just got to jam it on there. I don't think I had it on there enough. So, let's fire it up and see if it will run. Alright, we got some gas in here. It has been a long while since I've had this one fired up, so this should be interesting. We'll choke it and we'll see how it's doing here. Oh, yeah, that's the 281 I remember. It was bone dry. And I pushed the choke in. Now the starter. Awesome. I put lube on that one too. Yeah, that's one problem with a ported saw. This much compression. I mean, it is hard to pull over, and it's probably gonna burn up recoils pretty quick. And these are not captured screws. Oh, it's all going downhill. Yeah, I just got a little sticky there. Yeah, that's tight. Wiring all looks good, and now the search for the screws begins. Well, I got the recoil back on there. Oh man, this thing is just a beast. Alright, so no more choke. We got it to pop. Let's see if it'll go here. This saw, full videos on it, multi-part, where I get it in a, will it run type of situation, and then also do the full port work, all the numbers included in those videos. I don't have a clue what they are now. Somebody recently asked me, like, what's the port numbers on that saw? Man, I don't have a clue. Go back and, I'm not trying to get you to subscribe and go back and watch the video, but if you want to know the numbers, subscribe and go back and watch the video, Anyways, let's see if it'll fire now. Alright, man, we've got it warmed up. Let's check our restart here. No fast idle or anything, just in the bush and wanting to fire it up. Man, I love living in the country. Get off work, come home, tinker, and yeah, that's why this one here, when it started actually having the ignition issue, it's so crackly and poppy up top. It's hard to tell like really what's going on. Right there, when I first refired it, it was still pretty rich. Leaned it out and it cleaned right up. And sometimes that gargle on the top end on a muffler modded chainsaw, it can sound like some ignition issues kind of going on, but when it does it in the cut and you've leaned it out, you've got problems there. So if you missed that video, go back and check it out. But 281 ready to go back in the wood. I'm gonna have to find a man-sized bar for this thing. It's got a little 24 on it. I need to find a 28, or maybe I can adapt that 36 inch on it. I think it'll pull that just fine. 056, that'll be coming up on the channel, doing some firewood with it just for fun. And if you want to see videos like that on Man Time here, go ahead and subscribe and give it a thumbs up. But whatever you do, get out there, have you some man time too.